Hello students, I am Suja Shaju. Welcome to biology class. In the last class we discussed about male reproductive system, and in today's class let us discuss about the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries, a pair of oviducts, uterus, cervix, vagina and the external genitalia. So once again, the female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries, a pair of oviducts, the uterus, cervix, vagina and the external genitalia. So when we studied about the male reproductive system, we have seen that the male reproductive system consists of a pair of testes, then accessory ducts, accessory glands and external genitalia. So here also the pair of ovaries, female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries, the accessory ducts and the external genitalia. The accessory ducts include the pair of oviducts, uterus, cervix and the external genitalia. Hope you got it. So here also we can say female reproductive system consists of pair of ovaries, accessory ducts and external genitalia. Now let's see the ovaries structure of let's see what are the functions of the female reproductive system. Now before going to the functions of female reproductive system, let's first recollect what is the function of a male reproductive system. Its main function is to produce the sperms or spermatogenesis, and the second one is insemination, that is transfer of the sperms into the female genital tract. Now what are the functions of female reproductive system? The main function of female reproductive system is to synthesize the ovum and release the ovum. The process of release of ovum is called ovulation. And the second function is, as we know, that in human females fertilization is internal. That means the fusion of the male and the female gamete takes place within the female genital tract, isn't it? So you know that. So that is what is called as fertilization. So the second main function of the female reproductive system is fertilization. Now after fertilization, the zygote develops into the fetus and a fully grown baby. This takes place inside the female reproductive system, and this is called as the development of the zygote into the fetus is called as, and the period from conception to birth, that is called as the gestation period, and that period is also known as pregnancy. So the third main function is pregnancy, and the fourth function, delivering the baby, that is birth. And after birth, after giving birth to the baby, the next important function of human beings is to take care of the child. That is, the mother feeds the baby with the milk which is secreted from the mammary glands. So the last function is child care. So what are the functions? Once again, let's see. The functions of female reproductive system include ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, birth and child care. Hope you got it. So now let's see the structure of an ovary. As you all know, where is ovary located? As you know, ovaries are found within the abdominal cavity, and the ovaries constitute the primary female sex organ, and its main function is to produce the ovum or the egg. Now where is it located? It is located one on each side of the lower abdomen. Now each ovary, the size of the ovary is about 2 to 4 centimeter in length, and it is connected to the pelvic wall and the uterus by means of ligaments. So ovaries are found one on either side of the lower abdomen, and it is about 2 to 4 centimeter in length. Right, And how is it connected? It's not suspended, it is attached. One side of it is attached to the uterus and the other side is attached to the pelvic wall, that is the wall of the abdomen, with the help of ligaments. Now each ovary, here you can see this is the section of an ovary. So each ovary is lined by an epithelium, thin epithelium, and this epithelium encloses the ovarian stroma. So the inside of the ovary is called as the stroma and it is lined by an epithelium. Then the stroma, that is the inside of this, the germinal epithelium encloses the stroma. The stroma is divided into two regions. The outer region is called as the peripheral cortex and the inner region is called as the medulla. So stroma is divided into peripheral cortex and inner medulla. Hope it's clear, right? So that is all about the structure of ovary. Hope you all got it. So what is the ovary? Ovary is the primary female sex organ which produces the ovum. It is located one on either side of the abdomen. Then each ovary is about 2 to 4 centimeter in length, right, and it is attached to the pelvic wall and the uterus. One side is attached to the pelvic wall, the other side is attached to the uterus by means of ligaments. Then each ovary is lined by a germinal epithelium and this epithelium encloses a stroma. Stroma is divided into two zones, outer peripheral cortex and inner medulla. Now let's discuss about the accessory ducts. As I have told you in the beginning, accessory ducts consists of a pair of oviducts. Oviducts are also called as fallopian tube. Oviducts are also called as fallopian tube. Hope it's clear? Right. The next part of the next accessory duct is the uterus, which is also called as the womb. And the third part is the vagina. The mouth of the uterus is called as the cervix and then comes the vagina. So which are the accessory ducts? Accessory ducts consist of a pair of oviducts, also called as fallopian tube, uterus, also called as a womb, and the vagina. Now let's see the structure of a fallopian tube. Here you can see in the picture, you can see clearly this is the female reproductive system. So here you can see these are the two ovaries, this and this. Okay, these are the two ovaries. So these ovaries, one is attached to the uterus, the other side is, one side is attached to the uterus and the other side is attached to the pelvic wall. Okay, now these are the pair of oviducts. So this is the oviduct, which is also called as a fallopian tube. This is divided into three parts. The first part, which is funnel shaped, that is called as the infundibulum. The oviduct is about 10 to 12 centimeter long, and the first part, which is very near to the ovary, this part which is funnel shaped, it is called as the infundibulum. Right, now the tip of the infundibulum, at the tip you find number of finger like projections. These finger like projections are called as fimbriae. Hope you got it. So infundibulum is a funnel shaped region of the fallopian tube. The tip of that, there are number of finger like structures called as the fimbriae. The infundibulum, the main function of the fimbriae is to collect the ovum as soon as it is released from the ovary. So every month one ovum will be released out from the ovary and this will be immediately sucked in or collected by this infundibulum with the help of fimbriae. So these finger-like projections help in the collection of ovum. Now the next part, the infundibulum opens into or leads into a wide region which is called as the ampulla. So what is ampulla? It is a wider region of the fallopian tube. The ampulla leads into a narrow region which is called as the isthmus. So the fallopian tube, it is divided into three main regions: the funnel shaped infundibulum, the wider ampulla, and a narrow isthmus. So these are the three main parts of the fallopian tube, and attached to the infundibulum we find finger-like structures called as fimbriae. Hope you got it, right? So now that is all about the fallopian tube. Now let's discuss about the uterus. Uterus is nothing, it's also called as the womb. So in this picture you can see this is the uterus, this part is the uterus, right? And it is just like an inverted triangle or an inverted pear. You must have seen pear fruit, right? So just it is just like an inverted pear, somewhat like an inverted triangle. Now the uterus, this uterus opens into the vagina, right? And the mouth of the uterus, that is called as the cervix. So the uterus opens into the vagina through the cervix. Now the cervix has a cavity, so this region is the cervix, and this region has a cavity which is called as the cervical canal. The cervical canal along with the vagina is called as the birth canal. Hope you got it once again. So this is the uterus. Uterus is a inverted, its shape is just like an inverted pear or an inverted triangle. This uterus opens into the vagina through the cervix. The cervix has a cavity which is called as the cervical canal. The cervical canal along with the vagina is called as the birth canal. Hope it's clear. Now the uterus has a wall which is made up of 3 layers. So this is the wall of the uterus which is made up of 3 layers. The outermost thin layer is called as the perimetrium. Here you can see clearly. So the outermost layer is called as the perimetrium. The middle layer is called as the perimetrium. The middle layer is called as the myometrium. Myo stands for muscles. Okay, so the middle layer is a thick myometrium made up of smooth muscles, and the innermost layer is the endometrium, which is thin. So the innermost layer is endometrium, which is thin, and it is glandular in nature. Okay, it consists of number of blood vessels. So these are the 3 different layers of the uterine wall. Outermost layer is a perimetrium, middle layer is a myometrium, and the innermost layer is the endometrium. Now let's see what's the function of this myometrium. As I've told you already, myometrium is made up of smooth muscles, and muscles, the unique property of muscles is contraction and relaxation, and the muscles of the myometrium helps in strong contraction during the process of delivery. So the main function of myometrium is to help in the process of delivery by strong contractions. The endometrium, as I've told you, undergo cyclical changes during menstrual cycle. So endometrium is a glandular tissue, and it undergoes cyclical changes during the menstrual cycle. So that is all about uterus. Hope you all got it. So what you have learned about uterus? Uterus is also called as a womb. Then what is the shape? It is an inverted pear. Now where is it? It opens into the vagina through the cervix, and the cervix has a cavity which is called as the cervical canal. Then what is birth canal? The cervical canal along with the vagina is called as the birth canal. And which are the 3 layers of the uterine wall? Outer thin perimetrium, middle thick myometrium, and inner glandular endometrium. And what is the function of myometrium? It helps in strong contractions during the process of delivery, and the function of endometrium is to undergo cyclical changes during menstrual cycle. We will study in detail about menstrual cycle in the next class. Now the last part, that is the external genitalia. So we have discussed about the pair of ovaries, we discussed about the accessory ducts, and now let's discuss about the external genitalia. The external genitalia in females is called as the vulva, right? It consists of mons pubis. So this region is called as a mons pubis. It is a fat tissue which is covered by skin and pubic hair. Then the next part is the labia majora. You can see here labia majora. These are 2 lip-like structures which are the fleshy tissue which surrounds the vaginal opening. So this is a vaginal opening. It is surrounded by labia majora, and the next part, that is the labia minora. It is the tissue which is found under the labia majora. Then there is a membrane, a thin membrane, which is found covering the vagina, and this membrane is called as the hymen or the virgin membrane. So this membrane got its name as virgin membrane because it was believed that this membrane breaks during the first coitus or the first mating. So but later now it is, and it was considered as a sign of virginity. Okay, so but now it is understood that this membrane may break due to strenuous exercise or cycling or horse riding and so on. So now we cannot say that only virgin membrane is a sign of virginity. Okay, now the next part is the clitoris, which is a tiny finger-like structure which lies at the junction of two labia minora. Okay, so these are the different parts of the external genitalia or the vulva. So once again, try to remember at least the names of these different parts, that is mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, hymen and clitoris. Okay, hope it's clear to you all. So that is all about the female reproductive system. So female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries, accessory ducts, which includes a pair of oviducts, uterus, cervix and the vagina, and the external genitalia. So now we have seen, hope you all understood these parts clearly. Now mammary glands is also considered as a part of the reproductive system. Why? Because mammary glands secrete, synthesize and secrete milk, and it is found only in mammals, and this milk is required for the taking care of the child. The mother feeds the baby with this milk, so that is why mammary glands also plays an important role in the process of reproduction. After reproduction, next is child care. So let's study about the structure of mammary glands. Mammary glands are also called as breast. Okay, they are found one on either side in the chest region. Then this it is a glandular tissue, consists of a number of glands, and the mammary gland consists of 15 to 20. Here, as you can see, here you can see bunch of grape-like structures, right? Each one is a mammary lobe. Okay, this is one mammary lobe, this is another mammary lobe, this is another mammary lobe. So like that, in one mammary gland you find about 15 to 20 mammary lobes, and these mammary lobes contain cluster of cells. These cluster of cells are called as the alveoli. So what you find here in this light violet color structures are nothing but the alveoli. Now what is the function of alveoli? Its function is to synthesize and secrete milk. Hope it's clear. So mammary glands are glandular tissue, and they are divided into they consist of 15 to 20 mammary lobes, and it is made up of cluster of cells called as alveoli which secrete milk. Now these alveoli open into small tubules which are called as mammary tubules. So first is mammary lobes. How many are there? 15 to 20. Then mammary lobes are made up of alveoli. Alveoli opens into mammary tubules. Hope it's clear. Now mammary tubules, the tubules of each lobe. So this is one lobe. Let us take this as one lobe. So this these are the mammary tubules. The mammary tubules of each lobe open to form or join to form a mammary duct. So this is a mammary duct. Hope you got it? Yes or no? Right. So what is this? These are the mammary lobes which are made up of cluster of cells called as alveoli. Alveoli opens into mammary tubules. The mammary tubules of one lobe open or join to form a mammary duct. So this is one mammary duct. This is another mammary duct. This is another mammary duct. Okay. Now the mammary ducts join, several mammary ducts join to form a wider ampulla. So here you can see, so these mammary ducts join to form wider ampulla, which is connected to the lactiferous ducts. You can see these are the lactiferous ducts through which the milk will be sucked out, and the tip of the mammary gland through which the milk comes out, that part is called as the nipple. Hope it's clear. So that is all about the structure of mammary glands. So once again, mammary gland, it is a glandular tissue, and its main function is to synthesize and secrete milk, and the secretion of milk takes place only after the process of delivery, right? And it consists of about 15 to 20 mammary lobes containing cluster of cells called as alveoli. The function of alveoli is to secrete milk. The alveoli open into mammary tubules. The mammary tubules of each lobe join to form mammary duct. Several mammary ducts join to form the ampulla, which is connected to lactiferous duct, through which the milk will be sucked out. Hope it's clear. Hope the structure of mammary glands is clear to you all. Alright, so that is all about the female reproductive system. Okay, hope it's clear to you all.